much so that it's well nigh impossible to get close enough to one to damage it. And once it drops its load of Draconic ground troops, nothing can stop the Valar from taking the fortress you just secured. The good news is, we've discovered a way to sabotage it from within. If we can get someone inside, we can disable the dredging and smash the Valar.
Okay. So this kind of warship, we're going to enter inside of it, and it's going to be what's called a PvE instance. And that means that you're going to be competing against the other side. And so this is going to be a 6-on-6 plus against the NPCs. And the NPCs are going to be basically against everyone, obviously. So if you look at the map, I mean, this is so new, we haven't even finished translating the map yet. But this is going to be where the Aion start, this is where the Asmodeans start. And you'll notice there's all these red spots. And this actually is areas you can take over. So there'll be control points that you can attack, and when you take those over, you'll earn points to your score. The scoring system is right here. You'll notice it'll tell your name, captured score of this points, and it'll kind of help towards your rewards at the end. But there's going to be a lot of different strategies that develop for the users. They'll have the choice of attacking the other side, or maybe staying and being defensive and taking the PvP or PvE obstacles out. So players are already surprising us with their tactics and the way they're doing things. So it's kind of interesting to see what players can do with your game when you set them up in a situation to see how they handle it. So this instance you can sign up for every 2 hours with your group or solo, and it'll port you in. You can see the countdown right here is going. You have 2 minutes to kind of get group buffed up. So one thing that you need to make sure before you go out into the world is that you have your kind of deck ready. And your deck of skills we call Stigma. And so every class has base skills, and then you also have this tree and this ability to choose your skills. And it's kind of our class differentiator. So that means that you can take these skills, arrange them in the fashion you feel are best suited for your gear, your stats, and your playstyle. So it really lets the user customize their class differently than other classes. And I think it's important that players realize that every ranger is not like every ranger. You can play a ranger in a different way. And I think this actually goes on well, especially with our mana stone and gear socketing system. So you can add your own stats to gear. So even though you have the same piece of gear as somebody else, it might be completely different based off of the mana stones that you add to it. So I kind of go down here and show you kind of visually some of the zone, what it looks like. It's got a little bit almost of a sci-fi feel to it. Kind of this ancient dragon race. This is what you must destroy, actually. I'll be a keyboard turner here for a second. Alright. So this is a mini boss in this. It's the technician, sorry. This is kind of a badass looking guy. All of these things will earn you points throughout the instance, as well as PvP will as well. I'm going to take you back to the first zone we were in, Poeta, levels 1 through 10, and just kind of give you a refresh of what the zone looks like, kind of the nice serene area. Everyone's kind of happy. So we've added an instance that's called Dark Poeta, and this is kind of a, what if the Valar had crashed through the rift at the end of that zone and kind of taken it over. And so we now have this completely new area that level 50s can revisit from when they were levels 1 through 2. You can see it's much changed. These guys are actually bosses that you have to attack these attack boosters and defense boosters before taking it out. Very cool. This zone is also scored. You can see right here, hunted and collected. You have different quests that you'll be able to do in the zone. All of it will end up upping your score. Your score will determine your end encounter. So you might get a little dragon whelp at the end to kill that might not have very good loot, or you might get like a really huge dragon at the end that you can kill and get really good loot. And so this serves the purpose of both casual and hardcore. The casual player can go through this instance, in an hour and kill an end boss and be happy. Whereas a hardcore user can really make sure they get the right points so that they get the best loot, so they get the best encounter. So it adds some replayability, but also kind of helps focus on casual and hardcore. I'm going to show you a mini boss in this area. This guy's kind of guarding him here, so I gotta kill him first. I'm really buffed up, so bear with me for that. Oh, I got a minus time. 60 hit points. Right. So this is the boss right here, the telepathy controller. So as I attack him, he's going to start activation, and he's going to send out these waves that stun you, as well as do area effect damage. And he's going to pick you up and throw you around. And I think this is a good indicator of how much movement is important in Aion. You'll have skills that can take people down from the sky, throw them up into the sky, push them backwards, forwards. It's a real visceral feeling for the combat. And so you'll also notice that these arrows that pop up as I'm going, that add to my dodge. If I back up, it's going to add to my block. If I go forward, it's going to add to my attack. So it really keeps the user kind of going at it. You notice I got 500 points from that. Oh, I got good treat. So I actually got a heroic drop right here, which is a blue item. And this is part of a set piece that is included in this instance. So each of the mini bosses will have a chance to drop a piece of the set. So sets are new in 1.5, and so I'm wearing one right now that's actually a class-based set. And the class-based set will be quested for by each class. You'll notice that as I have 3, I get 1. If I take off this right here, then all of a sudden I lose the effect of having all 5. Whereas there, all of a sudden I get everything back. These are fabled items, so we have common, superior, heroic, fabled, and then our new one is eternal. And eternal have 5 mana stone sockets, much better, faster, stronger. And so it's another tier for players to work through. So that's about it for highlighting most of the 1.5 features. There's a lot more I can talk about in terms of if you guys had any questions coming in, or if you had any questions about what I talked about along the way, or anything in particular. No? Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, we're really excited. Our closed beta test has gone really well. We're gearing up towards open beta here soon. We're going to announce the dates for that next week. We really hope that players come back and see all that's changed based off of their feedback throughout the closed betas. Very, very pretty rules.